Good morning, this is Tanya from You and Your Witchy Stuff. I hope this finds you all well. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are watching my previous videos or returning subscriber, thanks for doing so and being here. Joining you from my patio, of course. Going to be a nice hot day here in central New York State of 80 degrees. If you watch my most recent couple videos, I mentioned that I went to Salem, Massachusetts, which I try to do every year, at least once a year, sometimes fortunate enough twice. Been there about 24 times, give or take, through the past 20-something years. However, there has been a couple times where I have not been there, or it's been in the on-season, meaning September or October, where the weather's been great or very not so great, or that. Preferably, we usually go in August, June or August. This year, my husband and I decided a few weeks ago to take an impromptu trip when he got a little time off from his job, which he's a healthcare worker, and looking for a fairly new hospital, which therefore he has hardly any time. It's so unpredictable. The places, let's just say, yeah, whatever. So he goes under that stress, and of course the unpredictability of me being unemployed. Great news, I'm not going to go into that, but I did find a job. I'm starting on June 3rd. So those woes for me are over, and this reward of going to Salem, like a reward, a favor, a refresh before I reset on a new chapter in my life, came at the right time. It fell into our laps instead of overthinking, analyzing, especially like I do with everything else. He's a bit better than that than I am. We just went for it, money or not, or whatever the case is. We had the opportunity, the temporary means, even if they affect everything else in the future, we had it. So we said, fuck it, we're going for it. We're going to our favorite place, Salem. He likes to go, we like to go for the museums, the horror museums, to spend time at the Salem Willows, which is a gorgeous little quaint park right by the ocean. You can actually swim there. You can walk around. There's little traditional eateries and old arcade with some old style games, including the 80s known arcade games, skee ball, Zoltar the fortune teller, all of that fun stuff. We went to Count Orlok's museum, or Nightmare Gallery, which is, I mentioned in my previous videos. If you're a horror fan, that's a must go to. We hit that every year, sometimes twice. When we go, that's a must have with the wax figures, as we're both huge horror enthusiasts and fans. We love cons, we love the old, the new, and everything in between. And a lot of B movies, and of course me, a lot of witchcraft movies and occult movies. But so doesn't he. So this video, yes, may be a bit rambly, so just letting you know ahead of time, just making sure I'm still filming. So this may be just a bit discombobulated over the place because I threw stuff into a bag to make it easier to grab. So they may become from different locations, different things. So without further ado, this is the stuff that I picked up in Salem. Just real quick, no surprise. The shells and the other stones and all that stuff's got to be cleaned and packaged and sanitized, all that fun stuff. But big jar of sand, I already have a big jar, but I stay stocked up because I do use it for various, from the Salem Willows or the Pickering Wharf, the sand is used in a lot of my different formularies. I use it in different spells, different protection boxes. I work with Hecate Analia, as mentioned. One of the epithets of Hecate is she's my patron goddess. She is one of them I work with. That plus it ties into the spirit of the place. Grounding, a merging of the sand is to me a merging of the land and the sea into one, the earth and the water element. So I use it all the way across the board in so many of my workings, my formularies, my potions, protection. It's just great. Arts and crafts. So yeah. And of course, ocean water. You can never have enough of this. This is just one of the 2-gallon jugs we got this time. I do already have about a gallon and a half in the house already from previous visits. And I do use it the same way as I mentioned about the sand, of course. It's ocean water. I use it quite a bit more often. It's much more of a staple in my practice, in my workings, for different reasons. I use it for Hecate and for Venus for a offering, which I do new moon for Hecate as an offering on her altar, because of the epithet again of Hecate, and of course of Venus. So, because of course of the ocean. So since both are highly associated with ocean and oceanic energies, and of course intuitive energies and feminine and all of that, I use that as an energetic offering. I do use it in various spells, formularies, as I mentioned earlier. It is just a great multi-purpose. The element of water is cleansing, clearing, that type of thing. So it has high concentration of salt, so highly protective. So those are big foundations. I grabbed this from the beach along with many other like little curios and things, which are great there. And so yes, still filming and trying not to take too long. So now hence is going to go into some of the stuff I got. We had a great weather, by the way, amazing weather. Check out my 2 previous videos and short little ramblings from Salem Willows from by the ocean, and the Labyrinth Garden, which was a great surprise to me if you watched that, from the Ropes Mansion. I still have yet to tour the Ropes Mansion. That was my first time in the garden. Yeah. You find a new thing every time you go, a new magic, a new history, a new place. Such a calming place Salem is. There's so much history, so much which lies beneath, so much spirit, so much class, love, and so much diversity of culture. They are very focused on queer-based things. Of course, witchcraft is not became as a tourist attraction the witch city, but they do honor it very well. There's also many things like there's a lot of lovely art, there's a lot of lovely little cruises, things within an hour or 2 radius that you can travel to. Lots of eateries, seafood, lots of nice little tea shops, horror shops, video game shops, you name it, there's a diversity. And of course, goth, yeah, which we know I love goth. So, with that being said, this is going to be long, so thanks for bearing with me if you made it to this point before I even showed anything other than what nature willingly and gave me, and I'm grateful, thankful, and blessed to be able to restock my collection and have several hours of enjoyment, of connection, of sitting by the ocean and just walking and enjoying that, and enjoying the time with my husband and walking the historic part of Salem. We don't usually go too far outside of it. So I just going to go, like I said, and start off with something. Now this is rather big. This may not come into focus, but I'm going to grab this first. One of my favorite places, and my husband's, the Salem Witchboard Museum. They got almost every kind of, across the world, in different cultures and different forms of antiquity, up to the most recent things like the Stranger Things Ouija board. So much history in such a beautiful place. Check out the Salem Witchboard Instagram. It's amazing. And the proprietor, John, we had the fortune of running into him yet again this time when we went. And he has such amazing stories, history, how he the acquisition of the boards and how he does so, how he finally found his Holy Grail board, things of origination, and he was also in many bands, like 30-something types of bands, diverse types over the years. So he has those type of stories. So great stories. Such a wealth of information he has, and such friendly. He is part of the actual experience of the Witchboard Museum. But that place, I could sit there all day and soak in that. I don't necessarily need to use the Ouija boards anymore because I speak and channel with spirits on a daily, consistent basis and such. But that's how I started off. I mean, I did have the foundation since a child of that, but that's how I got into my teens, and was heavily through my teens to my, so for about 10-15 years, and then I started collecting them slowly and surely. So this one is added to my collection. It's going to be hard to see. It's great size. Let me bring it back here. See, so compared to me, you can see the size. I'll just bring up here to bring into focus. So this board, yes, was $50 because it's a collector's. It's from 1999, It is a Third Eye Concepts talking board. Winlock, Washington. It's a complete set. So, of course, I like it for the black and the red. I like the fact that it's a circular board. I don't really have any circular boards, so I do love that aspect of black and red. I'm a heavy metal girl. So, of course, and a 90s girl, so that speaks to both my goth aesthetic, the 90s, where I was a 90 teen, when I started using the Ouija boards, and it's just fucking awesome. Plus, the greatest thing about this Ouija board is this planchette down here, which is circular, that actually stays on the board. So, like, when you're speaking with a spirit, some slide off to go goodbye or other things, it's got like a magnetic piece or component to it that holds it together and keeps it on the board. So you can't lose the planchette. That's a big thing on my part, or you can't really destroy it, and you can't, you can have better control over the guide and the workings of using the board. I just don't want that board to fall on the ground. Ooh, 11 minutes already. Okay. Next is I got this at Artemisia Botanicals, right near the hotel we stayed from in the Hawthorne Hotel. Most amazing hotel. Definitely worth the money of staying there for so many reasons. It's our go-to. It's actually right on Essex Street, literally where the main strip is of the historic park. You can come and go and walk on that, park your car. Convenience, amazing comfort, and they're more than accommodating. So I got this. I have this in a different type, Vampire's Blood incense. I'm big on all my tools and things that I use for my magic. I liked this one because I already do have this in stock, but I liked, of course, I'm a sucker for aesthetic, so the coffin. But I wanted it for this. I didn't know this was, I knew the incense because I'm a fan of the incense. But I don't mind my ums. But look at that little burner that came with it. Rest in peace. A little coffin with wood. What a great bonus. Definitely worth the money that I paid for that, to keep my stock of not only that incense, but the aesthetics, but even bigger, the aesthetics. They're Rest in Peace, which I work with underworld and death energies. That's my main thing. And the dead and necromancy and such, and spirits and all that fun stuff. So that, of course, is appropriate and will go on my altar and will go for great use. So that incense burner and the incense, of course. So next on this, let's see what I have in my bag of goodies that I just stuck together from the Cauldron Black. Speaking of incense, let's do these real quick. This is the incense I got at Hex in Salem. One of the staples, Christian Day store. So yeah, I'm not going to go on about what my opinion is of him, but his store is awesome and is an experience. Has a huge working altar in it, which you can go and pay homage to, request healing, devotion to your ancestors. Has great many tools and handmade things from hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft, and of course things that, because he has a secondary store or first main store, whatever the case is, in New Orleans. So that's all linked in. That store is an experience in itself. So I get one of my favorite incenses for working with Hecate is skeleton key. Obviously I wear keys. They're big for Hades too, and many other things for unlocking doors, opportunities, the realms when journeying and pathworking, but also they are very protection and they bring answers. And I have a huge affinity, I always have, for keys, especially antique skeleton keys. So this one is one of my staples in my collection. It's much cheaper to, of course, get it in person than online, as you pay for shipping and all that fun stuff, and if they have it in stock, to do so. Luckily they had a great stock of it going this time of year. I found actually a bigger stock, full stock of things on it, which was beneficial in my opinion. I love going on the off season. Going on the on season near Halloween and such, end of September, mid-September to a full month of October is great, but it has a lot of cons to it in a negative way, but the experience is great once. I recommend, but to be well, do your homework and be well prepared ahead of time for that, because like I said, a lot of it is a hassle in its own self. This one I got this time, it called to me. I've been starting to slowly work with Lilith. I've been feeling her presence on and off for a while, so I'm starting to get my feet wet in that she's come to me. I feel that her presence. So this incense was of course from Hex, called to me also, has a nice spicy cinnamon smell to it. So the incenses are great, they do burn fairly nice. So I got a new one to work with Lilith and to experience with her. And of course, a integral part and foundational is the Skeleton Key incense. So those are the incenses that I got on this trip to keep my collection stocked. Let me get these out. I got 2 decks, and that is the first one is, and I may do full videos on these or such eventually, but since I'll be starting a new job in just over a week, yeah, filming's going to change on that, as is of course still analyzing how much I am going to film or keep this channel in the future, but that's not it for now. So Magic the Gathering, I do not play. I did have cards, and I did attempt to play and learn. I understand the concepts and the workings. I'm just not a gamer gal. Kudos to those ladies and those guys that do so. My husband's a huge Magic the Gathering collector. He has some cards and decks from the beginning. I mean, talking from the origins of this game, but also he does play on occasion with others. He used to play a lot more in tournaments many years ago before I met him, and he's on it. Now, I like Magic Gathering for the concepts, the creativity, and of course the artwork. Ironically, this is where it comes in funny. My husband and I were saying, and my cousin was saying, it'd be awfully cool to actually have a oracle deck or tarot created specifically for Magic the Gathering, or authorized or licensed by Magic the Gathering. But nothing ever crossed my path. I've seen people's handmade decks and things that they created in collage, etc., which are very fascinating. I see those throughout the years. I even considered doing that myself. But look what I found at a comic shop called Newberry Comics. Kind of like our FYE here, which is a dying store. It sucks now, but that one's nice up there in the North Shore Mall. Yeah, they have one. That's a location we go to, should I say. I know that there's many other locations for them. So this is the Magic the Gathering. I found this and I was like, what? Really? I was probably just talking about that concept, as I mentioned the past few weeks ago. I'm not going to show the full deck. Just going to say that I bought this deck and it was like $25. My husband and I did for the collection. Of course, it's mine because I'm the reader and he's the collector. So it technically will be mine, but it's technically ours for the concept. So that's the backing. The guidebook's actually nice. I only pulled a few cards with this just to see, to give her a feel and interview. But look how cool this is. So if you are a Magic the Gathering fan, collector, enthusiast, you like fantasy, a card collector, this is actually worth the investment for many reasons. The guidebook has a short paragraph and blurb about what it means and the origin, but I highly say the message resonates, surprisingly enough. I'm going to probably use this with the Royal Dark Tarot. I may use it with the Alchemy 1977 Gothic Tarot that I have eventually, because I got to get familiar with that deck. Just sits in my collection. And I was thinking of using it with, what's the other one? Oh, Tarot of the Night Sun, Fabio Lestrani's deck. I think these would be great companions for that and other decks. It has a very fantasy and a lot of witchcraft and sorcery feel to it, as does the game, hence the game. So yes, so that's a few of the cards from the deck. I have not checked to see if there's any flipsters out there, because again, I just got back the evening on Thursday, this past Thursday. So yeah, but that reasonable price. Cardstock's a nice cardboardy linen, but nice, better quality than I thought it would be. Comes in a nice heavy box. So yeah, probably do more with that, and I am really looking forward to it. I'm already very pleasantly surprised. Kind of like, wow, what I was thinking and wanting, what's there? I don't know how new this is. I'm not going into that now. This video is already going to be longer, long enough. So next is going to be again, this is only the 2 decks this month because of the trip and because of course my job situation. But 2 decks, I didn't think I was gonna get any decks, so hey, more than happy. Other one's another Oracle deck. This one's a bit, this is an indie deck. Now this one is a bit of an investment. I think I paid like 50 something for this, but it was in a store called Cauldron Black, and it is, which is a little awesome little store on right on Pickering Wharf. Amazing. So you have like a windy little area of different various shops. You got Pickering Wharf literally probably 50, 100 feet away. You see all the ships, the harbor. You have the smell, the sounds, and brick laden. This is much of historic Salem is. Part of the charm. So I saw this other deck name did. This is again just the box. The box is amazing. Gold, gilded. While I get this out, I heard of the deck, sounded familiar to me, the name, but we were getting ready to leave. This is right as we were on our way out. We took a quick stop down to the wharf on that to check out a few stores that actually were open, like the Salem Ossuary. I forget the name of the boo shop or shop boo or something that my husband went to. That's a horse shop that we never went to, and he found a couple goodies at for his collection, his extensive collection. Being the horse fanatic he is, and he called him Black. I always liked that store, and I found this. Now that was the front. Here is the booklet. So I heard of it, but I forgot what the image is. I think I've seen this once or twice on YouTube. I honestly think once. It kind of didn't resonate with me so much. Sometimes the imagery really jumps out to me. Sometimes it does not. Sometimes I have to get a message, a feeling of how that would fit in my collection, or things of how others work with them. Well, I didn't remember which deck this was, but I kept looking at the box and it kept calling to me. I was going to buy the Dante's Tarot instead to build up that, but this kept calling to me. So I says, okay, let's look at those backings. That is everything in my opinion. The black and the gold and the symbolism, like a sigil, much like a sigil, very witchcraft, very, again, I'm a big gal on aesthetic, so big aesthetically. These cards are well made. They are a little longer, kind of like playing card size. I got small hands. I usually like very big decks, honestly, but this one's nice. This is going to go nice with the Dark Goddess Tarot. In my opinion, I have the indie version and not the mass market of that deck. But she's one of my favorites. I use her specifically, intuitively, in just the one line about the goddess that's in those decks and my path working. So this here is different goddesses and spirits that are from culture. Once I opened this up, I was like, I'm fucking in love. This was everything. Now I know the reason I was guided towards this. Not just the backing or the deck or the aesthetics. I never used to be a big black and white type of style girl for decks, that is. Clothing, yes. Tarot or an oracle, not so much. But look at this. Look at this artwork. It is everything. And the message in the guidebook and a little story and history is everything. I pulled a couple cards to interview with this deck. So this is the Witches of Legend Oracle. An indie. I love indie decks. because of the creativity, the time and that's invested by the creator, their magical and energetic imprint, creativity. Usually the quality in many cases is better or diverse, you find, instead of just getting things that may be AI or fully produced. Yes, there is a lot of AI in the indie world too. Unfortunate thing, a great thing and an unfortunate thing about progress and about modern times. But look at this. Morgan Le Fay. I feel so much saying this deck. I get so many intuitive hits already. I feel like it speaks to my soul, my witchy soul, the witch I am and have always been, of time and place. I feel like I'm looking and connecting with these and the spirits and the energy and what was intended to be for this. I know this is going to become a foundational deck, an archetypal, if I can talk, archetypal deck in my practice. Look at Persephone. I don't necessarily work with her. I feel her presence because I do work with Hades on many occasions. We may step back a little bit, but he's there. Circe or Kirke. Show one more in Nyx. So yes, so this is not, like I said, a full flip through or anything by any means. There's more of that, but look at that gold gilding. This is everything. This is everything these two decks are. I could not be more thankful. So this is from the Cauldron Black and Indie deck. You'll probably be seeing a lot more of this. I may be showing in the future in the channel as I come to know this. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this under 40 minutes. So let's move on. Speaking of the other thing, Cauldron Black, let's see. Get that out quick. I'll show the books in a moment. Real quick. I get a little skeleton antique key, no surprise from my earlier mention, but I'll keep that on the burnt paper. And look at this candle holder. This is gonna either go on one of my spirit altars or on my underworld altar for Hecate, Hades, and such. I work big with serpentine energy. And have for the past couple of years. I highly connect with that. There's many reasons to that, but specifically the King Cobra, that I believe it's spirit energy I work with. I'm not going to go into detail why or ask for what energies, but when my husband saw this, yeah, my husband's not a practitioner or anything like that, but he knows well. Maybe my guides speak to him, or my spirits and familiars, maybe his just know, but he's like, hey, wifey, look at what I found when I was talking to the woman who works there. We're just having a nice general conversation. And I went and I was like, really? A King Cobra? Which I already have several of those pieces in the room I film from, usually in the house with the red walls. I have an altar with a lot of that. And I have there's serpent energy everywhere. So yes, so I work with that for many reasons, and I resonate with it. This is just a beautiful piece, and just under $30. A win-win to me. Gonna be another part for my collection. So, everything. So that was from Cauldron Black. Also, just like this deck is a little skeleton key, and then I did get a pamphlet book on there, and let's see. Almost done here. Again, thanks for being patient. I'm gonna try 40 minutes or 45, but yeah. Okay, this will be the last part of it. I'm just getting it out. Thanks for being patient. Okay, so the last thing I got from Cauldron Black, I did get some books. I call them like pamphlet style books. There's thin little books on here. This came from Cauldron Black. If you watched my channel introduction video several videos ago, just a couple videos ago, here that I have an occult book collection. I do like books of antiquity, rares, or first editions. I don't have many of them, but I do like those, especially the random odd stuff. And I do have the books that I started off with my practice, when I first started getting books, collecting 30 years ago. I'm a big reader. I do use and integrate that and discern from my practice. Even if I don't work with certain things, or they may not be something I work with, I like the knowledge, the diversity. And there's always something to be taken from wisdom, knowledge from around the world, different cultures, different types of magic, and to keep your brain working, not just on the practical level. To never stop learning, never stop gaining knowledge, never stop expanding your practice, so to say, even if you're not a practitioner. So this book here, which is, focusing, there we go. It is Speculum Terra, a magical earth mirror from the 17th century. This is by Frater Aker. Now, Frater Aker is someone I follow on Instagram. He is an extremely knowledgeable practitioner and experienced practitioner. His bodies of work, I have to start reading. That's the first book I own by him. I have many on my Amazon wish list. If I could read all the time and had the actual focus too, I probably would. But I've been wanting his books. I saw this and I was like, yes, this is the first thing when I walked into Cauldron Black. So this is book he's mentioned. Again, it will be a easier read, but he has such a wealth of knowledge of occultism, goetic workings, and all types of magic clip off, and his travels and his hikes and mountains and his working and the churches and cathedrals and temples he's visited around the world. Check out Frater Aker's Instagram. It is everything, and he posts on a regular basis. So I got this book. And from Pentagram Books, another place I love, I got 3 of those same type of style books. I've been wanting this one for a while. It's been on my radar for many, many years as a practitioner. If you know, you know. I've never read it, but I've wanted to and always been intrigued. The Black Pullet. I saw it, and since I had the means and opportunity from Pentagram Books, which is on Derby Street in Salem, I got it. A 2-level store. I just found it a couple years, not in the past like 2 years, 3 years, and yes, I love it. They got such a diverse cult selection, whether you are into the Kabbalah, you are into goetic workings, witchcraft, divination, tarot, history, herbs, you name it, they have it. And they have decks, carved divination, witch boards, spirit boards, pendulums. Again, they have readers in it. The store is beautiful and enchanting. So yes, well, as are most, obviously, one of the big, huge appeals of why I go to see. So this one is the Grimoire of Pope Honorius. It was originally written in 1760. And this is a newer edition, pamphlet. I saw about this before in my occult studying, learning, things that I've been seeing that come across my radar. Many things come across my radar. Yeah. So I'll be reading that in the future. And these are all reasonable because they're those style books. So then I also got, this is the Grand Grimoire of the Red Dragon. I have not read this, but I have heard this, just like the last one, come across my radar. I like that. Another book of occult knowledge, but will be a shorter read, which I need many of those to integrate in that, because some of the other books, even these, have a wealth of knowledge in them and different things you can take or integrate from the practice. This one was, the original edition was 1750. This new edition was from 2015. So yes, so I'll be looking forward to reading those, and of course just acquiring those collection. I have like a to-read pile of 15 plus books. So yes, so, and I just started a new one. So yes, and I like stuff that kind of is more involved, should I say, and much more challenging and evocative. Yes, I'm there's still room in my collection for many one-on-one books. And there's a time and place for all practitioners, and still a lot that authors can offer, but literally hundreds of them, a lot of them are regurgitated information. I want the older stuff, the more stuff that maybe is not the go-to, or maybe is, if a more advanced practitioner, things that most writers will not touch base on nowadays. It's not or widely accessible. Okay, we come at 35 minutes. Next one. Oh, this last one. Okay. So this is, I got to, of course, I mentioned in my previous video, Witch City Wicks. Yes, that was just a given of going to. A candle shop and a shop of everything. Check out their Instagram and check out Witch City Wicks website. The store is an experience itself. Many of the things are not sold on the website. The majority of are not. You have to go to the store to see it and experience it, but the website does have the lovely candles, room sprays, and such. I got this little, I always wanted one of these little spoons. This will probably go on my altar of all things, but never use it, but look at that. A little quartz at the end. Yes. Antiquity, class, aesthetic. I love tea, of course, and coffee, but tea. Yes, so part of the witch thing. Well, part of everybody thing. Something that's probably many different types is easily and widely accessible. But I do like things of a Victorian and very Gothic nature. So, of course, hence why I'm attracted to that. And I got, of course, while I was there, I got things for a couple little minor gifts for one of my best friends and one for my cousin. Just little sprays and such, because of course they're fans of it, especially my cousin, which he goes to Salem too. This is from their newer one. This is one of the little travel tints called Ceremony. Give it a try. These are great. I use these style and size in my meditation box. It's great. It's compact. It's in a tin. They do burn for quite a while on that and last me a while. So I added that to my collection. And of course, no surprise, Type O Negative is my favorite band. I've mentioned in my previous videos, and candles with the name. This is Bloody Kisses. This is from Bloody Kisses. It was one of their albums in the 90s. It has, of course, the title track is Bloody Kisses on it. It's got Christian Woman on that album. And it has, besides Bloody Kisses and that, it has Summer Girls or Summer Breeze and many others. I'm not going to go into it because it's not a Type O Negative video. But a gal loves her music. A gal loves her metal. Music is an integral part of my everyday life. Not just my witchcraft practice, but my everyday life. I fucking love music. And music is magic. Magic for the senses. So it makes my goth heart happy. So the Bloody Kisses, the smells has a hint of apple, like decked in an apple pie. This is everything. Not just the fact that it was Type O this thing. These last a long time. They not only are fragrance body sprays, but they are room sprays. So you get the most bang for your buck. Nice bottle. I alternate these in my collection, and I've had them for quite a while. So definitely worth the investment. And this one is Seance. This one's amazing. My husband, we were trying to choose which one to pick out. I like Seance, the smell of Seance, and the term Seance for many reasons, of course. I love seances. But in working with spirits, and mediumship. So, of course. But we went through a couple different smells, and he liked this, so I got this for a room spell for the house, or room spray. On that, it's nice to spray on your sheets in bed before you go to bed yourself, and they are long lasting on the body and in the room, so you don't need to use a bunch or do it all the time. It's not watered down. You get everything. So with that, of course, those are the goodies, the things I got from my collection, tools and things that will go to great aid: the decks, the books, the incense, the sprays, and of course the ocean water and the sand. Those are things I got from my home, from nature, which is free and full of abundance and will be integrally used. And I am grateful and respectful that I had that, and that I have that connection with nature and ability to know how to use those and be very resourceful at the same time. But also the decks. We know I'm a big tarot and oracle lover. And of course, the sprays and incense and books. Never have enough knowledge. Never can acquire enough knowledge, wisdom, and the squirrel that scared me. And in my lilac bush. And basically can never have enough incense, which is versatile for many reasons. And with that, thank you for watching my haul, my videos, listening to my experience. And if you made it this far, or you liked anything on in this video, please comment below with anything you like or any questions. I'll be happy to share those with you or give you further information. And please subscribe, as it helps my channel grow. And I hope this all finds you well, and blessed be.